Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great, was the third pharaoh of Egypt's 19th dynasty and reigned from 1279 to 1213 BCE. The Battle of Kadesh, fought against the Hittites in 1274 BCE, stands as one of the most significant military engagements of his reign. This battle is famed not only for its scale, but also for the extensive propaganda that emerged from it, raising questions about whether it was a genuine triumph or largely a constructed narrative to bolster Ramses II's image as a formidable warrior king. The Battle of Kadesh is significant because it marks one of the earliest documented instances of large-scale chariot warfare, showcasing the military might and sophistication of ancient civilizations. Furthermore, it offers insights into the political dynamics of the time, with Egypt and the Hittites vying for control over territories in the Levant. Ramses II's unprecedented use of propaganda plays a crucial role in understanding the main topic by highlighting how rulers utilized narratives to cement their legacies. After the battle, Ramses commissioned numerous monuments and inscriptions, such as the reliefs at the temples of Abu Simbel and Karnak, portraying himself as a heroic figure who single-handedly turned the tide of battle. One real-world application of this concept is how modern governments craft narratives to influence public perception, a tactic observed in political campaigns and state-controlled media. Another example is the study of ancient inscriptions and reliefs that offer critical insights into how historical events were recorded and mythologized to serve the ruling elite's needs. Supporters of the idea that Ramses II's depiction of Kadesh was an exercise in propaganda point to the disparities between Egyptian accounts and Hittite records, which suggest a more inconclusive outcome. However, challenges to this view arise from the understanding that such embellishments were standard for the time, with alternative interpretations arguing that Ramses's portrayal of the battle reflects typical practices of royal self-aggrandizement rather than outright fabrication. These considerations connect to broader themes of how history is constructed and remembered. Ramses II's narrative of Kadesh influences interpretations of his reign, affecting the portrayal of pharaonic power and leadership. It also opens discussions on the nature of historical truth and the interplay between fact and fiction in the accounts of rulers throughout history. Understanding Ramses II and the Battle of Kadesh thus provides a lens through which to examine the intricate relationship between power, narrative, and history. The historical background of the Battle of Kadesh is crucial to understanding the broader discussion around whether Ramses II's portrayal of the battle was propaganda or a genuine historical triumph. The Battle of Kadesh, fought in 1274 BCE between the Egyptian forces led by Pharaoh Ramses II and the Hittite Empire under King Muwatalli II, is one of the earliest battles in recorded history with comprehensive documentation. It took place near the city of Kadesh, located in present-day Syria, and was primarily a struggle for control over strategic territories in the Levant. This point is significant because it sets the stage for understanding how and why Ramses II might have crafted the narrative surrounding the battle. The clash held not only military but also political implications, as control over this region meant dominance in trade and influence in the ancient Near East. The insights gleaned from this context help assess the motivations behind Ramses II's accounts of the battle. Two notable examples illustrate the prominence of the Battle of Kadesh. The first is the Egyptians' numerous temples and monuments, such as the Ramesseum in Thebes and Abu Simbel in Nubia, which are adorned with detailed carvings and inscriptions proclaiming Ramses' victory. These accounts suggest a glorious triumph, showcasing Ramses as a divine ruler favored by the gods. However, corresponding Hittite records found in Hattusa, the Hittite capital, suggest a more tactically balanced outcome, or possibly even a stalemate, where both parties claimed strategic advantage without conclusive proof of victory. Opinions among historians are divided. Some argue that Ramses' portrayal was a strategic use of propaganda to consolidate his power and influence, while others believe it reflects a genuine, albeit exaggerated, military success. These accounts emphasize the complexity of interpreting historical events through ancient narratives with potential biases. The challenges in interpreting the Battle of Kadesh stem from these biases in the primary sources, the lack of definitive archaeological evidence, and the differing historical contexts and agendas of the Egyptians and Hittites. Some scholars contend that the battle was neither a decisive victory nor a definitive defeat, but rather a diplomatic maneuver that led to the first known peace treaty in history, the Egyptian-Hittite Treaty. Understanding the historical background of the Battle of Kadesh influences the main topic by framing Ramses II not just as a military leader, but also as a skilled propagandist. It underscores the interplay between historical events and the narratives constructed around them, inviting a deeper exploration of ancient political strategies and their resonances with modern-day propaganda and historiography. The heading, Military Strategies and Tactics Employed, delves into the core of how Ramses II approached the Battle of Kadesh, a critical showdown that has been debated as either a masterstroke of military genius or an elaborate propaganda effort. Military strategies and tactics refer to the planning and execution of movements and operations to achieve specific military objectives. In the context of the Battle of Kadesh, it is crucial to understand how Ramses II orchestrated his forces and maneuvered them against the Hittites to appreciate whether his actions were effective or whether his portrayal of them was an exaggeration. This point is significant because the Battle of Kadesh, fought around 1274 BCE, is often cited as one of the greatest chariot battles in history and marked a pivotal moment in Ramses II's reign. Understanding the military strategies and tactics employed provides insight into whether the battle truly was a triumph, or if Ramses managed to craft a narrative that elevated his status irrespective of the actual outcome. One specific example of Ramses II's military tactics was his division of the Egyptian army into 4 distinct units, each named after a god, such as Amun and Ra. This organizational strategy was designed to facilitate coordinated movements and provide flexibility on the battlefield. Another example is his use of deceptive intelligence, which involved capturing enemy spies to extract information, albeit it led to a near-disastrous attack by the Hittites when the intelligence proved to be misleading. Opinions supporting Ramses II's strategic acumen suggest that his ability to rally his forces in the face of an unexpected Hittite attack and claim a tactical draw speaks to his leadership skills. However, many scholars argue that his inscriptions, which boast of a decisive victory, were more theatrical than factual, likely intended to bolster his reputation as a godlike warrior king. Challenges and controversies abound, with some historians contending that Ramses II exaggerated the success of the battle, pointing to the lack of significant territorial gains or decisive victory claims from the Hittite records. This highlights the alternative viewpoint that the battle was less a triumph in military terms and more a testament to Ramses's exceptional skill in ancient propaganda. This discussion of military strategies and tactics is intertwined with the broader narrative of whether Ramses II's portrayal of the battle was a propagandistic tool to immortalize his reign or a genuine reflection of strategic prowess. Influences the interpretation of his legacy and raises questions about the nature of historical triumphs versus the stories told by those in power. Propaganda techniques in ancient Egypt played a crucial role in shaping public perception and manipulating historical narratives, particularly during the reign of Pharaoh Ramses II. Propaganda in this context refers to the deliberate use of information, often biased or misleading, to promote a political cause or point of view. For Ramses II, the Battle of Kadesh was a prime example of how ancient propaganda could transform a military stalemate into a celebrated victory, glorifying the pharaoh's prowess and divine favor. This aspect is significant to the topic of Ramses II and the Battle of Kadesh because it highlights the blurred lines between recorded history and mythologized victories. Ramses used monumental inscriptions, such as those on temple walls, to depict the battle as a personal triumph, despite historical evidence suggesting that it ended without a clear Egyptian victory. This strategic embellishment reinforced Ramses' status as a god-king and secured his legacy for future generations. One example of this propaganda can be seen in the bas-reliefs at the temples of Abu Simbel and Luxor, where Ramses is portrayed single-handedly defeating his foes. These grandiose depictions were designed to impress and influence both Egyptian subjects and potential adversaries, underscoring Ramses' strength and divinity. Another example is the poem of Pentor, an epic narrative that poetically glorifies the battle and Ramses' heroism. This text was disseminated across the empire, ensuring the pharaoh's image as a great warrior was indelibly etched into the cultural consciousness. Supporters of the view that Ramses' representations were propagandistic argue that these efforts exemplify an early understanding of how media can be used to control public perception and reinforce political power. However, challenges arise from alternative viewpoints, suggesting that such depictions were not uniquely propagandistic, but part of a broader cultural tradition where pharaohs were expected to be divine warriors. Critics also point out that relying too heavily on these sources may distort historical understanding, as they were fundamentally biased. The exploration of propaganda techniques in ancient Egypt directly influences our understanding of Ramses II as both a historical figure and mythical hero. It forces us to question the reliability of ancient sources and consider the broader implications of state-controlled narratives. This connection invites a deeper examination of how rulers throughout history have utilized propaganda and underscores its enduring impact on shaping historical legacies.